just in general. So now let's just get to our real quick rundown. Kevin, I'm going to toss it back to you first for this first game. Let's try to keep our thoughts between 15 to 30 seconds just to keep this rolling, as the Ravens beat the Texans 25-9. The news from that game is J.K. Dobbins tore his ACL and he's out for the season.
So, fun fact, C.J. Stroud joins a very unique club of two people. So the stat is the first player since Brett Favre since 1992 to catch his very first completion. So that was nuts in itself. But C.J. Stroud, man, we talked about in the group chat. This is what Caleb Williams is sitting back saying, see, y'all want me to go do this? For what? What am I going ahead and do this for when I can stay at USC and make comfortable NIL money? But, we mentioned J.K. Dobbins. It's horrible to see, where we show a lot of Ohio State love, and to see him face another injury. I was in another fantasy league group chat, and they're like, is this going to be the end of J.K. Dobbins? And I really hope not, but you have to think about it. He's so young, and to have all these injuries back to back to back, being an athlete, just the mental that kind of puts you through. So prayers up to J.K. Dobbins, man.
Jaevon, the Buccaneers beat the Vikings 20-17. Shout out to Wes.
Baker Mayfield is for real. Might pick him up in my fantasy. Who knows?
For real.
I just thought that, the Vikings, I texted Wes. I sent him a nice little text message. I'm pretty sure Kevin probably knows about this text message. I just want to check up on him. I sent Manny a similar text. Didn't hear back from him. But I thought this Bucs team is showing you, like, hey, we got a bunch of these guys still from the Super Bowl team. Like, we can still come out and ball. We got a competent quarterback who's been in the playoffs, can win you games. As far as the Vikings go, I thought Jordan Addison, USC guy, kind of balled out today. Justin Jefferson did what he did, but didn't really get targeted in the second half as much. Kirk is going to be what Kirk is. He's going to turn the ball over at some point in time in the game. And their defense is a travesty. They're going to have to figure out what they need to do. I feel like they missed Dalvin Cook a lot more than they thought they would. But maybe the Bucs aren't as bad as we think.
Well, Gary, the Saints beat the Titans 16-15.
I thought you were going to throw me a different game. Saints beat the Titans? Nah, that was a good game by the Saints. It was just an ugly game, as always. We were talking about that yesterday, Vaughn, where no matter what the coach for, I'm trying to forget his name right now, for the Tennessee right now, but he always is – Mike Vrabel always – is going to have his team ready no matter what. I don't even know what weapons really on this team like that. Like, I don't trust Tannehill at all, so I don't even know how they're still in contention for all these years and just still even fighting in games, like not getting blown out in games and every game they're in. So shout out to the Tennessee Titans for always being in games. But like we said, we see Derek Carr in a new uniform, and he was looking good. He made that big play at the end where they finally needed him to make a play. That's the reason why they got a vet like him to seal the deal. And man, oh man, it is paying off for them. The Saints, like we mentioned, are going to be in this division against probably the Bucs. Him and Baker, I guess, be going for it to see who's going to win this division. So I feel like this was a pretty good start for the Saints. And again, they might be like another sneaky team like we see, maybe like the Seahawks like we seen last year, a sneaky team that no one really seen coming in terms of not having high expectations, and slowly but surely keep racking up wins and they become a force to be reckoned with. So I can see the Saints slowly but surely getting there.
The Saints are going to win their division, so they're not going to be sneaky. Kevin, the Falcons beat the Panthers 24-10.
Hey, man. Only two of us believe, Toddy. Only two of us believe, man. It was all this Bryce Young hype. But the Falcons were going to come in there and do what they did. And Bijan Robinson, his first touchdown, looks like all the highlights we've seen all training camp. A juke this way, a juke that way, and he's in the end zone, man. See, number 7 back in the end zone. Reminiscing on my Michael Vick days, man, really made me happy. But Drake London, 0 points in fantasy. Killed me. Killed me.
Me too.
But moving forward, I'm excited to see what Desmond Ridder does. And, Kyle Pitts got to do his thing. He has a competent quarterback. And I think Desmond Ridder can be a lot better than Marcus Mariota. So I'm interested to see what the Falcons can do this year.
Jaevon, the Jaguars beat the Colts 31-21.
I thought Rich looked actually really solid in this game. Shane Steichen drawn up a hell of a game plan for him. I was saying, Shaun, pause. Anthony Richardson looked very big on the field just compared to everybody. Like, he just looks like he's bigger than everybody else.
You also said no homo.
Mammoth of a man. I think he has some stuff he needs to clean up. I think he looks legit. He looks like a solid athlete. Got hurt at the end of the game, but he said he's fine, just a knee bruise. I think Indianapolis should be very excited about Anthony Richardson. Ultimately, they came away and lost the game because I think the Jags are on a different path. But Calvin Ridley put down the parlays and got to scoring touchdowns again. So it looks like he didn't skip a beat, and he looks like he's the
Should
real
have picked
deal.
him my fantasy. Has some chances.
I definitely had Calvin Ridley sitting on my bench in my other fantasy league. I'm starting to kind of figure out a little bit. And I didn't even know that I beat Kevin, apparently. I was so focused on – I already said this. I
The
predicted
Cowboys,
this
bro. That
I
34
predicted
points
this early in
fucking
the
won you that
season. I
game.
said I'm not going to be paying attention to my fantasy team due to my parlays, but I'm just going to try and keep up and
Mr.
make
Auto
sure I'm
Draft.
starting whoever needs to be started. But this game was a lot closer than I thought it would have been.
Garry, the Dolphins beat the Chargers 36-34.
All right, guys. I already been saying it. I need to stamp it again just to remind y'all. Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in the league. Ain't no doubt about it to me. I feel like he's in a class of his own now. Kev, you can take this all you want to take it. Then, man, I don't care how small he is or anything. His speed he burns people so bad that he's wide open constantly. He's making Tua look so great. And Tua's doing his thing. He's being solid, especially that one throw, fade corner to Tyreek, right in the money in the bread basket. And Tyreek didn't have to do nothing with that. But, man, oh, man. He's literally a game changer. Look, I seen Rich Eisen, I think today, he described it perfectly. He's really a video game, like just a video game, bro. Like you can't stop him. You got to double team. I don't know what they were doing yesterday, the Chargers. And again, so I just want to say that for the Dolphins, I kind of regret not putting them in my playoffs. I was really thinking about that. I just regret that already, to be honest with you, because they look so explosive and fun to watch. Can't wait to see them more this year because they're a team that's really cool to watch. That's why I was telling you to put that game on in the corner yesterday. And real quick, Chargers. Same old, bro. I was talking about this yesterday. I love Justin Herbert. He's a great quarterback. Just watching him play, feel like he makes the right plays at the right time. Trust his guys. Everything just just a real good, great quarterback in my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's just I don't know what it's just small. I keep going back to the coach. But I don't know why I keep going back to the coach. Everyone keeps blaming the coach, but they're just not clutch. They're just not clutch, and I don't know how they're going to get clutch because it's not the first time they keep losing these close game nail-biters where they basically lose at the very, very end. Like, remember a couple years ago, they basically lost, I think, was it to the Raiders to punch my Steelers into the playoffs, and them got disqualified. So they just been knocking at that door slowly but surely. Brandon Staley's probably going to get fired here soon if they keep doing this because they just can't be clutch. Simple as that. No matter how smart you are, you got to be clutch in this league in this moment, especially when you got that guy. You got that guy and those weapons with all those defensive guys too. It shouldn't have been happening what was happening yesterday, to be honest with you. So the Chargers got a lot of questions, to be honest with you. They should be looking at themselves in the mirror. But Miami, Tyreek Hill, best wide receiver in the league. Book it.
I should have known that the Chargers just always seem to find a way to lose. Like they find a way to lose. Jaevon, I'm gonna toss this to you just because this kind of was the Caleb Williams game as the Commanders beat the Cardinals 20-16.
Caleb Williams, that was crazy. Sam Howell looked how I thought he would look, very pedestrian. Josh Dobbs looked, I thought, pretty solid. The Cardinals kind of, made it very interesting. I didn't think the Cardinals would make it interesting at all. This was definitely a rock fight, as I like to say here on the show. This game kind of could have went either way because Shaun is calling it the Caleb Williams game because these teams could definitely be in contention for the number one pick due to lack of quarterback play. And ultimately, the Cardinals do have Kyler Murray, but we don't know if he's going to actually play this year. And, the fire didn't really get lit, as Jonathan Gannon kind of was hoping that it would instill into his players. But, Commanders get the win. Magic Johnson gets his first win as an owner for the football team or the Commanders, whatever they call themselves now. But ultimately, I thought, this game wasn't really watchable. And, it would pop up on a red zone here and there, and you'd be like, oh, Cardinals are winning. That's got to scoop and score, though. That's nice. So, and then, you kind of check the box score at the end of the day and be like, oh, the Cardinals kind of made it close.
Yeah, and, this next game, I want to talk about it myself because I have some apologizing to do. As the Raiders, they beat the Broncos 17-16. First time, the Raiders haven't lost to the Broncos since 2019 when Drew Lock was their quarterback. Shout out to my friend Isaac for telling me about that stat. And Jaevon, I left your apartment yesterday at halftime of all the afternoon games just so I could go to Isaac's apartment and try to troll him, as the Raiders, I thought were going to lose that game, but they ultimately won 17-16. And so shout out to Isaac. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I actually found myself rooting for the Raiders just because I wanted to see Jimmy G have success at his next stop. And so, I root for success for the Raiders until their fans start getting crazy. When their fans start talking crazy, that's when the hate comes back out. But for right now, I'm happy for the Raiders. I'm happy for their fans. Congratulations. You're in first place in the AFC West. Marcellus, don't think that I didn't see your comment earlier. How about them Raiders, Shaun? Yeah, they won their first game. They're in first place in the AFC West right now. But they're not going to win the AFC West. Kevin, clip this just in case if this is the all-time freezing take. But the Raiders aren't going to win the AFC West in 2023. As Garry likes to say, no way, no how. That shit is not happening. And, I apologize. I was wrong. The Raiders won week 1. I fall on the sword, but they're not going to win the damn AFC West. And I would put
buy next week.
A lot of how would they have a buy?
No, they don't buy. They start buying like week 8.
Anyways, congrats to the Raiders. Congrats to all their fans. You're in first place right now, so enjoy it while it lasts. Kevin, the Packers, they beat the Bears 38-20.
Damn.
Wait, Buffalo.
All offseason, I've been talking about Justin Fields going to take this Jalen Hurts lead. He's got DJ Moore. He's got his A.J. Brown. He's got his Stephon Diggs. He's got his Tyreek Hill.
He don't got no line.
DJ Moore got 2 targets, and they came on the same drive. You really saw the comparison of maturing a quarterback and what it really takes to develop in this league. We saw with Jordan Love being able to sit behind a Hall of Famer and learn the system, get the trust of the receivers early. We're throwing Justin Fields out there and saying, all right, man, show us what you can do. They're not really calling really good offensive plays for him. His first 7 drives, they had 7 penalties. Within those first 7 drives, he had 4 situations of 2 and 20 plus. So they were playing way behind the yard, so they were already setting themselves behind the 8 ball. And then they just don't have another wide receiver. I know Gary's guy is Chase Claypool, but I think the man is absolutely garbage. They need to make a move for Mike Evans. I know we brought in his DJ Moore, but we have to give Justin Fields another weapon. So I think the Bears will say Mike Evans
not save this team.
Do not send Mike there. Don't do that to Mike. He's been a good soldier out there in Tampa.
All right, man. They got the money to pay him. Why not?
Chicago nice. A quarterback, not a running back.
Jaevon, quarterback, you said?
Yes.
He's trolling right now.
He's trolling like a motherfucker. I don't know if
I just don't think he got no line. He ain't got no help.
Keep the same energy for Trey Lance that we're on for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not the same at all.
Yeah, he's 5-23. It's worse.
Hey, that's Chicago Bears. What do you expect?
I mean, hey.
What? A, what? B, C? There's nothing he can do in Chicago.
He played very pedestrian this last game. He didn't really – his numbers were not great. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. Brian Poles created a team around him. He's got – you named guys. DJ Moore. He's got his Devontae Adams. He's got this. He's got
his
that.
His line, though, is still not good.
I mean, his line could be bad, but, I mean, he's a runner, right? He's going to get you, 60 yards, 80 yards a game? That's where he should be able to, create plays. I just don't think he can read a defense very well. And, Kev came on this podcast and said that he's the best quarterback in this division.
Don't forget, they don't want Justin Fields to do good.
I mean, it's not even that I don't want him to do good. I just don't think he's good. I don't think he's good. I'm sorry. I just think he's very good at running the football. He's very good at, when the play breaks down to kind of make a play, he's very good at that. But when it kind of came, all right, I need you to sit in this pocket, make that 5-yard out pass. That's not what he's going to do. I think Jordan Love kind of showed that he was a little bit more comfortable. I kind of already mentioned that the team around him was actually really solid. Like, their defense is actually pretty good. He's got good receivers, solid running back. I mean, all Jordan Love is kind of just made up for him to kind of just go in and not fuck it up. He threw 245 yards and 3 touchdowns. He looked like one of the best quarterbacks on Sunday. And that's point blank period. His first start.
That'd be so crazy.
First career week 1 start. I have the Packers going 10-7, winning the division. It's not crazy to me that the Packers are one of the best teams in the NFC North. I mean, Fields. I mean, you could argue that Fields is going to run regardless if he has a line or not. I just don't think he can process a defense and make the right throw. I think he's an exceptional athlete. I think he has a cannon of an arm, but I just don't think that he can make the right throws as a quarterback, and that's kind of what's going to be that's what's going to hold him back pretty much. And,
I hate it here.
Kyle Shanahan had the chance.
It's going to be pretty crazy, man.
At number 3, and we said no. We wanted Trey Lance, and ultimately that wasn't a great pick either. So it was kind of either really a pick your poison with all of these quarterbacks in that draft besides Trevor Lawrence. So it's kind of just like, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I just don't think Justin Fields good. Everyone is kind of like, he doesn't have a line. This is his 3rd year in the league. Okay, let's try to he's 5-23. Like it's like, all right.
Yeah, that's my birthday.
If you're gonna be this bad, we're gonna start to look elsewhere. And elsewhere is Caleb Williams.
All roads lead back to Caleb Williams.
If he's this bad and the Bears are bad and they have
a million degrees
pick,
of Caleb Williams,
they're not gonna blink. Kevin, when I tell you they're not gonna blink if they have the chance to draft Caleb Williams and get rid of Justin Fields, they're going to 2.2. We're drafting Caleb Williams. See you later, Justin Fields. We've seen quarterbacks get moved on before. Obviously with the Cardinals, the 49ers were the last team to do it. Brock Purdy took us to the NFC Championship game. Trey Lance, gets hurt ultimately. And in training camp, he doesn't look like he's the guy. We trade him to the Cowboys. The league moves fast. So what have you done for me lately, league? I'm only going off what Kevin has told me, and I'm sticking to what's going on. He's 5-23. He can't win games.
I was
Garry,
just gonna say, but I know you're gonna say something about Justin Fields. Go on, just take that side remark away. But I was gonna say it's be pretty crazy if the Packers get this lucky with 3 straight good quarterbacks. That'd be pretty crazy, from Favre to Rodgers to Jay Love.
Let's slow down.
If he becomes a guy kid, that's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty crazy.
Okay, well,
Well,
and what Jaevon is referencing right there for our audio only listeners is our friend Khalil said in the YouTube comments, Caleb Williams going to every team in the league if it's up to Toddy, and that's a fact. He wishes he could clone him and put him on 32 different teams. And yeah, Gary, I mean, I'm glad that you retracted your little side comment, because just because Jaevon feels some type of way about Justin Fields doesn't mean that we being 49ers fans are actively rooting against him. I'm rooting for Justin Fields. It has something to do with me being a fan of Ohio State, but I'm rooting for Justin Fields. I want to see him be successful. And if there was any indicator of how Jaevon feels about Justin Fields after he auto-drafted his fantasy team, now acquiring Brock Purdy from me after 1 week because he hates Justin Fields that much, that's an indicator of how Jaevon feels about Justin Fields, that he wants to replace him with Brock Purdy as his QB1. So, I mean, that says everything there.
Huh, Vaughn? That's why you didn't want to.
Well, we got to keep things moving, guys. And so, Jaevon, I'm going to toss this back to you because this is our division in the NFC West. As the Rams, they beat the Seahawks 30-13. And the news from this past week is that Cooper Kupp was placed on the IR with a hamstring injury. He's out at least for the first 4 games. But the Rams, they pull off the upset, and you can file that under things that I love to see, because Emmanuel, he didn't want to talk to any of us after this game.
Hey, Manny, they didn't write back. They're starting to write Gino back now. So all the letters that he did ever wrote back to, they're starting to fill his inbox now. I just think that, Matt Stafford is a very capable quarterback. I think when healthy, he could be a top 10 quarterback. He's obviously won a Super Bowl. He didn't have guys. I mean, his number one guy was like Tutu Atwell and another guy that I've never really even heard of. Their defense, as Kevin likes to call
Puka Nacua.
JV defense. This is as JV as a defense can get. I mean, you can't really name anybody on this defensive front besides Aaron Donald. I mean, he was causing
havoc. He should retire.
We even saw a soundbite of Geno Smith.
Oh my God.
When Aaron Donald's coming at him face first. So, got to give it up to the coaching staff and Shaun. He's kind of coaching his ass off right now, overachieving a little bit against the Seattle Seahawks. And, maybe this just means that the Rams come in second because they ain't coming in first, because they got San Francisco coming to town next week. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait when, the varsity squad plays against the JV squad. That's what it's going to look like.
When we play you guys? Oh, talk about Seahawks. Sorry.
Got you.
So, Kevin, this last game that we're going to talk about is your division, but I'm going to toss it to Gary because he finds himself surrounded by Cowboys fans as the Cowboys beat the Giants 40-0.
Jesus.
Yeah, guys, I went from hanging out with the Niner fans in the morning and shit talked to dancing Cowboy fans that night. It was a great day for me.
Dancing is
But-
crazy.
Dancing,
Oh, I sent a video of my
dancing.
brother. They were dancing their head off. Uncle Manny and Jesse were going crazy in the living room. But hey, you know what? Shout out to the
I'll be dancing
Cowboys.
too.
They came out and showed up. They kicked the Giants' ass, and man, scoring 0 points with 40 and Dak weren't even that good. This defense, they're knocking at the door for one of the best defenses in the league. You know, we have a lot of defense like the Niners defense that we've seen this weekend, and their defense right there. So those two defenses, you know, put a very big showing out last night, and you got to give credit where credit is due. I'm still a little bit iffy when they play a comparable team, a team
The
with a
best team in
quarterback
the
that's
nation.
actually good. Then we'll see if they actually put the numbers up like they did yesterday. So I feel like I got to give credit where credit is due yesterday. And you can't take nothing away from the Cowboys fans last night. All thing you could say is let's see when they actually play some good teams if they can get it done.
I mean, I was dancing too because I definitely had a Cowboy ticket last minute. But
I got attacked at the grocery store by a Cowboys fan. I was in my Eagles jersey. He's like, not this year. I said, you have Dak Prescott as your quarterback. Get the fuck out of my face. Like there's nothing to do. But before we move on to this, I just have to throw this out there because Toddy was all offseason talking about how the Dallas Cowboys have the best secondary in the NFL.
they do.
Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, Sterling Shepard.
Oh God.
I
That's what they
don't
went up
like
against.
Gilmore and Diggs was killing it yesterday though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
Let's not shake the world off of that receiving core is
Bradbury got hurt yesterday.
30 through
Don't forget
32.
about that.
I'm just saying, let's not make it seem like they played the Niners.
Cowgirls.
Cowgirls.